Yo, family. What's up, and welcome to Conversations with Them Two, the Shenanigan Crew. I am MJ, and she is.
Lady Des.
We want to say welcome. You are now rocking with Conversations with Them Two.
That's right. And you already know it's the Shenanigans Crew. We're in the building. And listen, we're going to give some testimony, some tea, and all of it's going to be true. All of it's
Oh,
going to be
wait,
true.
hold on. We're serving tea now?
Yeah. You know,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
We're
new
gonna
to
say
me, but
something.
okay.
But it's
What
going
I
to be
do
facts.
know tonight,
It's
huh?
all facts. It's all
Okay,
facts.
okay. I know tonight's episode is something special, so we're gonna dive deep into one of the most inspiring weekends in gospel music, brought to you by the Florida Gospel Music Academy, and they had the Music Honors program this weekend. But before we do that, we got to say that Lady Des and myself, along with some other people, made it to the finals of the Gospel Music Choice Awards. And the final round for voting opens on April the 13th. So we will definitely keep you guys informed of when voting opens so that you can go and vote. So, with that being said, Lady Des, what are we doing tonight?
Yeah, so tonight we're honoring voices and visionaries that are making a powerful impact in the music industry. And it's all because of this young man that everybody is looking at right now. He may look young and like, who is that? A lot of people may not know who he is, but he is definitely making a powerful impact in the music industry.
That's right. And he's the man of the hour, the visionary, the founder, and the heartbeat of the movement itself, Mr. Jorad Holmes, the president and CEO of the Florida Gospel Music Academy and Award Show.
Welcome, Jorad. How you doing?
Listen, I am well. Other than tired, I'm well. I've been late. I was late across the bed all so I've been across the sofa all day today, so I didn't do nothing at all.
Well, that's good. That's good. You deserve it. You deserve it. And we just want to say thank you for all that you do. You definitely are making waves. You're making a big impact, especially in the state of Florida. And you're just phenomenal. You're just phenomenal.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
And realizing that you had a busy weekend, that's why I text you. Are you up or are you shut down? Because I know that this weekend was something that was unforgettable for you. So tell us, what was the vision behind the Florida Gospel Music Honors Show, and how do we expect it to continue to grow over the years?
Absolutely. So the Florida Gospel Music Honors was something that God dropped in my spirit in 2023. Um, Again, years ago, they had the Florida Gospel Hall of Fame, which was under the direction of, at the time, Miss Lydia Gooden and Dr. Bobby Jones, and then it transferred to Dr. Pep Hendricks. So I was like, I had a question. I was like, nobody else is doing it. So I did my own research to see um, about the Hall of Fame. And I was like, okay, well, cool. The last time they did it was 2017. That was the year before Dr. Pepe Hendricks passed. So I was like, nobody else is doing anything. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm the only person that's going to do stuff, but I just have to move when God tells me to move. So we ended up creating it, planning it. I want a shout out to those individuals that helped me, which is Lady Drina from Orlando, Montrell Harris from Tallahassee, as well as Kenya C. Willer. These three individuals, we talk all the time concerning ways to enhance. When it comes down to the Florida Gospel Music Honors, again, I have several entities of dealing with the awards, with staff and board of directors, but then also with the academy, but with the honors and stuff, we chat all the time. Who can we honor? Who deserves to be honored? So we induct these individuals into the Florida Gospel Music Honors for their years of service, dedication to gospel music. regardless of what they do. So this last year was absolutely incredible. We had the opportunity to induct Gregory Cooper, right there, WNBM, as well as Pastor Beverly Crawford, Auntie Punch Baldwin. And the list can go on and on from last year. And the question was, are we going to do it? Was we going to do it this year? Absolutely. I was toiling back and forth on the direction of it, but glad I followed the voice of God and we did it the way that we did it, which was this past weekend. So excited and looking forward to what is in store for the future for the Florida Gospel Music Honors. I normally start the day like the Monday after, but today I was across the sofa all day, didn't plan nothing. So planning starts tomorrow. Planning starts tomorrow for next year to determine the honorees, and yeah, so I'm excited about it.
So walk us through what goes into planning an event such as this, that is so at this magnitude, that is so purposeful and powerful.
So basically it's just prayer. Like that's the number one thing, because like I shared on this past Saturday, I just don't want to honor any and everybody. I have to be, it has to be spirit led. It has to be cautious exactly who I want to honor. So, and then we start planning like literally for about 3 months. And then for a couple of months, we start planning. Hey, I reach out. Hey, who do you think we can start honoring? Who has not been really recognized? And again, it's not really that. Compared to the Florida Gospel Music Awards, this is more easier because the only thing that I have to do is just figure out the honorees and then determine the tributes, who the artists are going to be to do the tribute. So that's really the easy part of it. And of course, the behind the scenes with the logistics, finances, making sure everything, deciding on the host, excited the musicians. Hold on, y'all. That's a part of it. Just trying to determine it all, but it's really easy. This one is more easier compared to the main one in October. So grateful, just grateful to work and serve with those individuals. Like I said, with Kenya C. Willard, Montreal Harris, and Lady Drina. I reach out to them. We chat. To try to determine who actually really deserves it. So even like with this year's our honorees was absolutely amazing. We honored those that transitioned, which of course was Mr. Troy Sneed, which was definitely an integral part in gospel music. Amazing tributes on this past weekend to him, right there in Miami, Bishop Mark Cooper and the Miami Mass Choir. So it's definitely, like I say, that's the main part, is just trying to determine the tributes, what music, because again, I'm very cautious on the songs. So I actually have to go and listen to some of their music if they have music out to determine their tributes. So
awesome.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, Jorad. Were there any unexpected or emotional moments that reminded you of why what you do is so important?
Yes. So I had a conversation with one of our honorees, and one of our honorees and she stated to me actually this morning, she was like, she never was honored in this magnitude before.
Wow.
To hear that again, it was a little discouraging. Just again, we all go through that discouraging. Is people going to be? Will people like it? Will people want to come and all this other stuff? And again, that's the human side of what we do. But to hear this honoree say that she was blessed by the entire experience, and then for people just to see the comments, the videos, the posts from different people to say that I really enjoyed the experience. That's what I want to do. I want to give them the experience of it, and then to see the people's faces, their smiles, and then of course we worship. Like Saturday, we worship and we praise. Like the people that we worship and they dance. They got a good dance in. So that's one of the things is just I just encourage. I'm always encouraged just by seeing the posts because that allows me to see, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing, and there is a bigger purpose behind what I'm doing.
So let me ask you this. We always talk about legacy and leaving a legacy, and you picked up that mantle from Dr. Pepe. What does that mean to you as far as creating the legacy for those that are coming up behind you?
Absolutely. So to see what Dr. Pep, and I honestly I'll say this, even to do my own research to go back and look at the history of what Miss Lydia Gooden did. To see what she has done, and then to that mantle was picked up by Dr. Pepe Hendricks, and then for myself to carry on over to what we're doing now, it's definitely incredible. It definitely is important to me to build that legacy, but for those that's behind me, because at the end of the day, I want people to understand that the importance of standing on people's shoulders and pushing
Right.
forward, never forgetting the past, never forgetting the past, celebrating the present, and preparing for the future. That's what I always want to do. Is I always want to never forget where we come from, never forget about from those who labored. We'll say that like it's churches, but labored in the vineyard. Uh,
Mhm.
labor for many years, always celebrating the never forgetting the past, celebrating what we have now, celebrating those individuals, and then encouraging those to prepare your hearts for what God has for the future, because his plans and his thoughts aren't like ours. So all we have to do is just pray and then stay in alignment of what he really wants to do.
Awesome. Yes.
Gerard. So, with that being said, how do you see gospel music evolving, and how is the Academy itself preparing for the next wave of artists? How are we preparing them for the longevity and spiritual leadership?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I always share in our motto this year, and I want to give a shout out to Prophet and Elder Dwight Follins, who serves on our board. He is our co-chair of the academy, along with Miss Cora Miles Powell. He spoke a powerful message at the beginning of the year to encourage everybody that attended that Zoom, which was going from impressing the people to making an impact. Um, one of our goals is, and our motto is to get past trying to impress people, because a lot of times people are not going to support what you're doing anyways. So you have to get past people in their comments. Everybody's not going to appreciate the honors. Everybody's not going to appreciate the celebration. So you have to forget about those. But if we can just make one impact on somebody's life, that is the importance of it all. It's just making the impact of what we're doing. So my goal with the longevity with the academy is definitely to um, train these artists, teach these artists. Again, myself, I have been on several radio charts. I have been, and I'll say this like this. I had a conversation with someone concerning billboards and all this, because they asked me a question concerning how did I end up on billboards? And I said, simple, the faith to God, having the faith in God, but putting the work in to get where I am. Again,
Absolutely.
and I tell people, my last single came out in 2020. My last single came out in 2020. That single landed on several radio charts around the country, played around the country, it played around the world. Um, 20 that was during the pandemic year. Pandemic year was tough for us all, because again, losing loved ones, losing those that we know, and then to come out with a project during the pandemic was crazy. And then for those that know my testimony of 2021, how I was sick the whole entire year, for almost a year and a half, sick, going through my stomach issues with my stomach, and still trying to push music, but I just couldn't. But the faith in God, God allowed the project in 2022 to land at 188 out of 200 on the Billboard BDS gospel charts. At the end of the day, It's on BDS. It's on billboards. So I don't care. 188, 10, it don't matter. It's on the charts. Um, so I try to teach what I know, how I got there on billboards, or even how I got my name out there. So we teach all this, trying to understand everything when it comes down to the music, when it comes down to the industry, when it comes down to even radio. Because again, the artists don't know about radio, the ins and outs of how to submit music. So I always try, that's the goal through the academy, is not just to take your money. Because a lot of organizations, that's what they do. They just take your money, but they don't give nothing back. I want to be that person that we pour. I'm always pouring into our members, always, whether it's through a text or a phone call. Like I try my hardest to always encourage, always be that voice. If they need to vent, we're more than just a academy. We're a community, a family. If you need to talk, if you need to vent, that's what we do. Is we're an open book when it comes down to the academy to help the next generation and to continue the longevity.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Awesome. Family, if you're tuning in right now, you are checking out the Shenanigans Crew. I am MJ. She is
Lady Des.
And we are talking to the founder, president, CEO of the Florida Gospel Music Awards and Academy, Mr. Jorad Holmes. And what we're talking about is the vision and where the Florida Gospel Music Awards is going, and the Florida Gospel Music Award honoree program that we just had this past weekend. Jorad, before we can move on, let's do a recap of who all was honored this past weekend.
Absolutely. So we had the opportunity to, of course, right there in Miami, we honored Miss Lydia Gooden. We also, in South Florida, we did the legendary Stella Award-winning Miami Mass Choir. We honored over 56 years in broadcasting, Mr. Freddie Rose out of Jacksonville.
Awesome.
I call him the godfather of Florida gospel music. I called him that this past week. The godfather of quartet gospel music, Mr. Reverend Pastor Fleming Tarver, or Reverend Fleming Tarver. And then C. LaJuan Adams, who is another amazing vocalist out of Orlando. And then our posthumous honorees, Troy Sneed. We did Troy Sneed, Apostle Rosalind Copeland. I'm trying to think who else. It was quite a few that we did. Dontavius Boatwright. Dontavius Boatwright. Apostle T. LaShawn Hamilton, who was another amazing musician, singer, songwriter, pastor. So those are the individuals that we honored this year.
Beautiful. Listen, what was one of those performances that stood out the most to you? I know you said y'all had some church praise and worship, but what was one of those performances that really went in and stood out?
That's a good question. Because all of them was good. I just can't choose but one. All of them was good. The tribute to Dontavius Boatwright, the tribute to Troy Sneed, and then also the tribute to C. LaJuan Adams. I think honestly how it shifted and we started was after the Apostle T. LaShawn Hamilton tribute. Just a moment there where we just kept saying hallelujah. Because of what could have happened, what should have happened. And for God to keep us in our right mind, to have the activities of our limbs, be able to breathe on our own. And again, we go through a whole lot, but at the end of the day, we can just say hallelujah anyhow. So I think, again, all the tributes to the Miami Mass Choir, I just can't choose but one, but every last one of the tributes was absolutely incredible. That stood out. All of them stood out this year.
So absolutely. What's next? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, with the passing of Dontavius Boatwright, the passing of Troy Sneed, both who were instrumental in what happened in gospel music in Miami, the energy in the room had to be like bananas that night.
Correct. Correct. It was. So and again, it was emotional. Like those tributes for those individuals that transition. It was emotional because the people had to sit there and think my loved one is not here anymore. So again, it was just absolutely incredible. The love was in the room, the love was in the atmosphere. You could feel you could feel God's presence there, and then to have Troy Sneed's daughter and son-in-law there to accept the award on the family's behalf was absolutely incredible. And then it was touching because I think she just to sit there and just to hear her speak on her father, it is emotional. But I'm telling you, it was love throughout the entire night.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I think as a family member, just to hear the impact that your father or whoever the family member was made such an impact till they're still being remembered, and knowing that all their work was not in vain. So
Correct.
Thank you all for so much for what you do.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So my question was, what's next? What's next for the Florida Gospel Music Awards? Any upcoming events? Any new initiatives that we got to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot that's coming up. A lot. We have initiative, and then you all will be the first to know. We have later on this month, we have the FGMA Academy presents a talk with Pastor C, which is Pastor Cynthia Melvin Portier, ministry excellence on and off the stage. So that's going to be a conversation that it's actually going to be closed just for our members. Because again, God led me. I spoke to her last night, and God spoke to me and said, because normally we try to open it up to everyone that's not members, but for some reason God spoke and said, only your members need to be on this call. So that means y'all got to sign up. Those that are watching, you got to sign up to be a part of this. But from there, we're going to Tallahassee. We'll be in Tallahassee next month for our second quarterly summit. We're going to be with Pastor Lenoris McFadden at Shady Grove #1 Church right there in Tallahassee. So that's honestly what's next for the academy part. Is we'll be up there, same like we did in South Florida. We'll actually be in Tallahassee, the academy, and then the showcase. So anyone that is watching that's from Tallahassee or that area, please make sure that you all come out Saturday, May 17th from 11 to 4 p.m. It's going to be an awesome experience. And then from there, we're just getting ready to start planning fully the Florida Gospel Music Awards. This is 11 years. So this year, later on this month, you all will get to see who our hosts are. Excited about that. We have two amazing individuals that's going to be hosting this year. Our artists. But this year we have that. So mostly of our events right now, we have a pre-show on that Friday night. We'll be doing a pre-show where we're also going to be giving out awards. So if you all have never been to the Stellars or never seen the Stellars, you all will know they do a pre-show prior to the main show. So that's what we're going to be doing this year. Artists giving out awards, and then on that Saturday morning, we're bringing back our prayer breakfast, and we're going to be giving out awards. Then that is one of the things that was a staple when we started this to include it, because prayer is essential for everyday living. So I include that. And then, of course, the main show on that Saturday night. So I'm encouraging you all, once you all see the information for all the events, make sure you jump on this, get your tickets for those events that are ticketed. You don't want to miss it. Honestly, that's really what's coming up next, is just through the academy, through the awards. And then you all just got to stay tuned concerning the honors later on at the end of the year.
And with that being said, you told them how to look out for the future awards that's coming up. But what about artists that want to get involved? How do they get involved? How does one get nominated? And how do we grow through the Florida Gospel Music Academy?
Absolutely. So to be nominated, you just have to look out for the information when we start nominations. Nominations for us always start December 1st. Um, Again, I don't know if we're going to be adding or taking away categories. We fluctuate every year just because we're a Florida-based award show. So we try to see what if there is a need for certain categories. Like this year, we didn't have best new group because there's really no groups that came out with music this year that I know of. So we didn't have that on the ballot. So we try to see what categories should be added or take away. But basically, if you just want to be nominated, you just have to stay tuned at the end of the year. Stay connected to our Facebook page, our website, our Instagram for more details on that. But simply to grow with the academy, you just have to go to our website, myfloridagospelmusic.com, to sign up for the academy. It's a $60 annual fee. Compared to other organizations that may be higher than ours, ours is only $60 a year. And so yeah.
So give us your social media handles for those out there that they're just hearing about it and they want to be a part. Give them that website address again, and also your social media handles where they can follow and connect.
Absolutely. So you can follow us on Florida Gospel Music Awards on Facebook, on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook with I support Florida Gospel Music Movement, which is we're going to be bringing that back next month. It might be this month to really support what's going on here in Florida. I took a little break with it. And I'm now in the process of restructuring. I support Florida Gospel Music Movement, but you can go to the website My Florida Gospel Music to stay updated on everything Florida. We're going to be updating the website to include all of the events that we know of within the state of Florida. Again, also on Instagram with My Florida Gospel, I think, or Florida. You just type in My Florida Gospel, it'll pop up, something like that. But you'll be able to stay connected to us. Again, my name, Jorad L. Holmes or Jorad Holmes. So I do have two pages. Don't y'all ask why I got two pages. I have a lot of friends. Praise Jesus. But you can like us on Facebook at Florida Gospel Music Awards, FGM, Florida Gospel Music Academy, FGMA Academy. I support Florida Gospel Music Movement. My email is floridagospel@gmail.com or Florida Gospel Music Awards @yahoo.com. So either or, and we'll be able to support. Again, if we don't know, we can't help support it. So you have to let us know. Again, you can connect to us. Like I say, connect to us.
Absolutely. And before we get out of here, we got to definitely acknowledge all of those or some of those checking us out on Facebook. Rhonda McFadden checking us out said, "Heaven rejoices, even if it's just over one soul." Miss Brenda Johnson says, "Hello, family." Eddie Hall is watching, and there are a few others. So, Jorad, we take pride in talking about when the kingdom is making advances, and you are definitely doing that. You not only did you pick up the mantle, but at one point you were in the race and you saw where there was a need, and you jumped in and kind of filled the gap. And now you're making sure that all of the artists and all of the people that are interested in this industry that don't know, that they get that knowledge. So I definitely appreciate you for that, because you're just proving that your voice matters, your words matter, and that the Florida Gospel Music Academy movement is for everybody.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I saw that as well, MJ. We discussed it after the summit that he had a few months ago, and I talked about Jorad, of how I saw the passion that exuded from him, and he was very intentional about, you know, the structure of what was being taught and getting the message through, if that makes sense, and making sure that everything came across with clarity. So, you know, Jorad, I just want to thank you so much for your obedience, your vision, and your consistency at what you're doing, because everybody can't do this. People may see events being held in different award shows and just different showcases and summits and all of that, and they feel like they can do it, but they don't know the work, the planning, the investment that goes behind that. So I congratulate you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not easy. And I tell people this, it's not easy. Some days I lose sleep because I'm up planning or I'm up thinking. I'm always a thinker. What can I do differently? How can I help push our artists further? What can be done differently that we have not seen over the years? So a lot of stuff that you all are seeing, we have not had in the state of Florida. Yes, we've had the Florida Gospel Announcers Guild, but we've never had an entity like the Academy here in Florida that I know of.
Absolutely.
Yes, we had
with that being said, all gospel warriors out there, you can definitely become a part. You can definitely become a part of the movement as well. Just realize that Jorad has set the tone. So your voice matters, your work matters, and this movement, the Florida Gospel Music Academy, is for each and every one of you.
You're absolutely correct. And like I said, I'm just so proud of Jorad. He's young, he's innovative, he's creative, and he's always trying to bring something new. And he's always welcoming. So just like MJ said, Jorad already gave out his social media handles. Listen, y'all connect. It's no reason that no artist should be left behind. There's no reason that no artist shouldn't know what they should do and how they should do it. These are the people that you need to connect with in the industry. Right here in South Florida and in the state of Florida, we have Jorad Holmes, the Florida Gospel Music Awards, and the Academy. You all connect. Please connect.
And with that being said, Jorad, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out and chatting with us and telling us all about everything about the honors and about what's coming up with the Florida Gospel Music Awards, the Florida Gospel Music Academy. Sir, listen, your work is not unseen.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it.
Listen, you're moving in ministry, not just moments. You're not just creating moments, but this is ministry for so many, for everybody. So if they just tap in, listen, because it's ministry, you're going to be blessed. And these are moments that's going to continue through a lifetime for you. Because this is time you can just go back and reflect on everything that was said and done, and it will bless your life continuously. So thank you. It's on you, MJ.
Well, family, it's the Shenanigans Crew. That's right. It's us two. I am MJ. She is
Lady Des.
And we will see you guys next week. But until then, keep shining, keep serving, keep singing, keep praising. And whatever you do, make sure you do it with a purpose. It's the Shenanigans Crew. It's us too. Along with the founder and CEO of the Florida Gospel Music Awards, Mr. Jorad Holmes. Until next week, family, peace.
And congratulations to all the honorees.